What's up, everyone? I just want to start the video off by saying I am changing. I'm sorry for not uploading as often. I've been very busy with work and everything. I also want to say I'm changing how the way I do videos. It's going to be a very little or at all edited video. When I have to edit them, I feel very like less fluent, a little less. I feel very scripted, but I never write scripts for these. I never do anything like that. I'm kind of just going off either mental memory or I might have something on screen just to help explain what I'm explaining. Um, but editing it makes me feel very like stiff, and if you watch my two previous videos, it just seems I feel like I look very stiff and shuttered in, and I'm not as fluent. So I want to be more fluent. So for now on, probably very little editing or editing at all. But today's video is about, I guess you could explain as a theory, but it's also a fact that um, Orochimaru potentially has recreated the Karma Seal, or a very watered down product of the Karma Seal. So I posted something on Instagram. Go follow there. That's where I'll be posting, letting everyone know when I'll be posting videos. But basically, the premise of it is that the Karma Seal and the curse marks are very similar to each other. How are they similar to each other? Well, first of all, the very obvious one is they are both marks. They're both tattoo-like marks on the person's body that when they progress, when they like with the karma, it's the diamond on the hand. As it progresses, a tattoo-like thing, images go up the user's body. Same with the curse mark. It's similar when they want to power up. Like with Sasuke's, it would spread throughout their body. So that's one way they are very similar to each other. The second ability that allows them is how they are given. Orochimaru, as far as we know, is the only one able or potentially able to give curse marks to people, whereas Otsutsuki members can give them to people as ways of vessels to help keep them immortal. And it seems like you have to get them through a certain person to gain the mark. The third way they're in common is the biggest one. It's a form of reincarnation or form of immortality for both. Orochimaru would give them to people, and he would save his DNA code inside the curse mark, as shown with Sasuke when he was facing Itachi. Orochimaru just kind of sprung out from his mark, seemingly being revived. And then when he revived his old student from Kabuto, not from Kabuto, but the girl with Kabuto, he was able to revive Orochimaru. So it's shown that Orochimaru is in some way immortal within these marks by holding his genetic code in those marks. And it's the same way karma works. With the way karma works is it's the Otsutsuki member pretty much putting all their DNA and their life force into that mark and slowly taking over the body. That's the only difference between them, is Orochimaru can't seemingly take over your body through the mark, as where the karma mark lets you they'll slowly take over your body. So those are very much how they are similar, and I believe it is a byproduct of the karma seal. We know in Naruto a lot of things has originated from Otsutsuki members, Kaguya especially. Examples are the bone jutsus from the Otsutsuki clan, the human clan of the Otsutsuki clan. The byproduct where they had, I think his name was Kimimaru. He was able to basically eject his bones from any part of his body. Kaguya Otsutsuki had the similar ability, but obviously hers was a little bit stronger, but it is a byproduct from when she was once alive. Same thing from, I want to say, since Orochimaru gets the curse marks from Jugo, I want to say it's his ability is a very much of a byproduct of Kaguya in a sense of karma marks. So the way it works is with Jugo, he is constantly his Kekigenkai, I guess you could call it, his disorder lets him take in nature energy at a constant rate out of out of his control, and he turns into this monster. So it kind of works the same a karma mark does. If a karma mark, I'll keep calling it a karma mark, but it has the ability to absorb chakra. So Jugo's heritage could be a byproduct of Kaguya's DNA being passed down, and so that ability being passed down, and since they're attached to humans, they take on different properties and kind of evolve to where instead of just taking base chakra, it's taking just senjutsu, nature chakra, senjutsu, where it's constantly absorbing senjutsu, turning him into a monster. Where Orochimaru modified that to be a curse mark, being able to be activated at will and turn into these demon or monster-like looking creatures, taking in senjutsu. And like karma, it can take in chakra, but so I think that's a very similar. What I'm learning from Naruto and Boruto is a lot of things can be come down to DNA, and the way how Otsutsuki members work are they're very different from humans, where they don't need to weave hand signs to use abilities. So it shows that maybe a lot of these jutsus like um, the bone jutsu or jugos could be a byproduct of the DNA passed down through generations from Kaguya's kids, where they were half human, half Otsutsuki, and eventually, as the human genes kept rising, they still always hold, kind of maybe that Otsutsuki in them. Certain people did, and now they were born with certain byproduct abilities that were innate in some people, but basically became mutations in others. So this was kind of to explain like how Orochimaru potentially recreated the curse mark, but let's say a very diluted, mutated karma seal. Because what I've noticed is DNA takes a lot of part in when you do research on Otsutsuki members, and I started looking like how things have changed with the humans because of her interaction with them and having half human, half Otsutsuki kids. So Orochimaru, being human, could have discovered a could have discovered the curse mark, but it was so diluted and mutated within Jugo that it's not the karma seal. It's a very watered down byproduct of the karma seal that only Orochimaru really has access or secrets to at this point. But that's the end of the video. I just want to explain my theory on the karma seal and the relationship it has with the curse mark, how they're similar. Obviously, they have much differences. Some of the differences they have are the karma seal. When an Otsutsuki member uses it, they first have to pretty much die. As far as what we've seen is they have to be close to death to pass it on. Whereas Orochimaru just kind of passes on willy nilly, and then eventually, if he does die, he can revive himself from the curse mark. That's one difference. The other one is only with the curse mark, as long as Orochimaru, even if Orochimaru is dead or alive, the person's not slowly losing their genetic code and he takes over the body. He doesn't do that. He more or less just pops out of it. Whereas the Karma Seal, once the Otsutsuki member goes inside of it, they almost kind of do what I imagine a Jinchuriki does, is they kind of seal themselves within that person and slowly rewrite their genetic code. The Karma Seal acts more like, I want to say maybe like a Jinchuriki seal within a human, whereas the Curse Mark kind of just is like a backup from something like from Harry Potter with Voldemort. He always had the objects that held his soul, so he can always live forever. The curse marks kind of work like that, where it's just a backup storage device for his soul, for his life, in any case if he dies. Whereas the karma seal has to be given near death and is used to slowly overwrite the person it is given to. That's those are some of the opposites it has from it. Obviously, the other big difference is the karma seal and the curse mark. They're different in power, as where the karma seal is very powerful, being granted you get the abilities of the Otsutsuki member, whereas in the curse mark, you really just transform and get maybe enhanced abilities, but beyond that, it doesn't really change at all. And beside you physically change too um, with the mutation. You grow horns. Your skin color changes. It's very different. So they have their differences, but they're very similar to not kind of explain and try to figure out, did Orochimaru find a karma seal, but it's a very diluted or mutated one, or is the curse mark something completely different and we're just I'm just speculating on something that's not true. Leave your comments down below whether you think this is true or not, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.